Hey guys, welcome to another huge episode of Triggered. It's great to be with you here ahead of Halloween festivities tomorrow. And speaking of spooks and scary things, the Democrats' dirty politics are scarier than any costume you'll see this year. Last year, I actually went as garbage. We'll have to try to see if we can flash up that picture because I thought it was pretty funny. It was very in the moment. Because remember, that whole news cycle right before the election, right? You guys remember what happened then? They were calling us garbage, they were calling us trash, and yada, yada, yada. So I figured I'd embrace it because even if we're trash, we're still better than anything that they were. And now, guys, now we're on cleanup duty. For all the failure and the corruption of President Otto Penn and his enablers. So guys, make sure that you guys are liking, sharing, subscribing so you never miss one of these major episodes. We're growing like crazy, and it's because of guys like you actually spreading the word. So just go hit that like button right now, okay? When you're ready to tune out of the show at the end, whatever it is, send it to a couple of your friends. It's the organic nature of all of this that makes it work, okay? You guys are a part of that. So like, share, and subscribe. Download the Rumble app. You can watch us on your smart TVs. Et cetera, okay? Let's not miss any of those things. Remember, if you can't catch the show here on Rumble, you can head over to Apple, you can head over to Spotify, we're everywhere that you want to listen. If your friends get their podcast that way, make sure they can check it out too. For all of the top headlines that we cover on the show, go over to my news app, MXM News, like minute by minute, MXM, where you can get the mainstream news without the mainstream bias. Real news, real facts, no spin. And of course, be sure to check out our sponsors, people who have the guts to support this program. They're literally the backbone of what we do here every day, so your support is welcomed. And honestly, if they're supporting this kind of stuff, it takes guts again. Maybe they've earned some of that support back. So definitely check them out. And that includes a new sponsor, Perplexity AI. Let me ask you something. How much time do you spend every day clicking around online, searching, scrolling, typing, endless tabs? It adds up, right? Well, there's a new AI web browser from Perplexity called Comet that is completely changing the game. Comet feels like having a personal assistant living on your browser that can actually do things for you across the internet. Yes, do things, not just give you answers. You can ask Comet to handle tasks, and it literally clicks, types, searches, and scrolls just like you would to get things done in the background while you go about your day. Comet can shop for you, it can make reservations, it can book travel, summarize articles or videos, send emails, schedule meetings. It saves you massive amounts of time. I've been using it to track down news stories for this show. You can compare products when you're shopping and even book travel without dealing with 10 different tabs. It's truly a game changer. So try it for yourself. Download Perplexity's new AI web browser Comet by heading to pplx.ai/Don Jr. That's pplx.ai/DONJR and let your browser work for you. Plus, right now, when you download Comet, you get a month of Rumble Premium for free. Again, guys, that's pplx.ai/DONJR. Go now, take back your time online. And also, guys, don't forget about the Birch Gold Group, where you can diversify your savings and protect your future. The Trump administration is moving fast to right all of the left's wrongs. But with all the damage we've seen the Democrats do, it's always smart to be prepared. And that's why thousands of Americans are buying gold now from the Birch Gold Group. Here are the facts. In the past 12 months, the value of gold has increased by 30%. And Birch Gold makes it extremely easy to convert an existing IRA or 401k into a tax-sheltered IRA in physical gold. Or you can even buy some gold to store in your home safe. Just text my name, Don Jr., DONJR, to the number 989898, and Birch Gold will send you a free info kit on gold. There's no obligation, only useful information. It's about learning more, and educating yourself. With an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau and tens of thousands of happy customers, take control of protecting your savings today. Again, text my name, Don Jr., DONJR, to the number 989898. So guys, we're going to begin over in China. China, where my father had his first in-person meeting with President Xi since 2019. So again, that was back before COVID and before the Wuhan lab leak that we were told wasn't a leak. Remember? You get thrown off social media for that. They'd kick you off social media for saying the most obvious answer. It started in the lab that studies the exact virus in question at the exact spot that was ground zero. I mean, shockingly, trust the science. Started somewhere else, obviously. Funny how the conspiracy theories keep turning out to be true, day in and day out. But anyways, these are minor details. And what the White House has made clear to China today is that you're not only getting lower tariffs if China makes major purchases of American farm products, they export rare earth minerals, stop the fentanyl from entering the U.S. That's the kind of stuff that looks like actually real negotiation, folks. Not the weak-kneed diplomacy that we've been watching day in and day out during the prior administration. Will Beijing hold up its side of the bargain? Well, if they don't, they will get what I like to call education through pain. ETP, it's a thing I've used with my kids all the time. They don't want to listen? Okay, ETP. They're like, what is that? Education through pain, okay? Understand that. And trust me, China does understand strength, not weakness, because the fentanyl flow has to stop. It has to stop in China. It has to stop being exported to Latin America and across it and everywhere else, because it's taking the lives of far too many Americans. We're talking about 100,000 plus Americans dying every year from this poison. Here was the scene at the meeting today in South Korea.
Well, thank you very much. It's a great honor to be with a friend of mine, really for a long time now, if you think about it. The very, very distinguished and respected president of China. And we will be having some discussions. I think we've already agreed to a lot of things, and we'll agree to some more right now. But President Xi is a great leader of a great country, and I think we're going to have a fantastic relationship for a long period of time. And it's an honor to have you with us. Thank you very much.
And guys, this isn't just about statistics. Okay? These are real American families being destroyed. Incredible people, hardworking people, young kids making stupid young kid mistakes. Just listen to Angel Mom Ann Funder, who lost her son after he took a pill laced with fentanyl. This is heartbreaking, but it's the reality of what's happening in our communities all over the country. It's indiscriminate. It goes after everyone. It kills everyone, and it needs to stop. Here's what she said this week on how many American lives the border strikes are saving.
Of course, the cartels, it's a multi-trillion-dollar industry. And for every boat that blows up, we're talking billions of dollars or close to it. So what we're doing by these strikes is stopping American lives from being lost on American soil.
For far too long, China has gotten away with unfair trade, IP theft, COVID cover-up, flooding our nation with fentanyl, working with cartels, working with America's enemies, and much, much more. They've been playing us for suckers while getting rich off American consumers. And it's time for that to change for good. And it is changing, guys. And that also includes the issue of immigration, where the world's worst bad actors exploited President Autopen. I mean, they saw weakness and they pounced. That's literally the nature of life. That's the nature of predation. That's a story as old as time. They flooded the nation with poison, with crime, and so much more. It was an invasion, plain and simple. But that's all changing now, and the results are already stunning. Just look at this video posted by DHS along the Rio Grande River. It's amazing what a new president can do. what actual enforcement of our laws looks like. When you have leadership that actually cares about protecting Americans, a lot can happen. And this week, during an incredibly powerful Turning Point event at Ole Miss, the energy was electric, folks. JD was asked a question about immigration, and he absolutely nailed it. This is how you explain common sense policy to real Americans. Check it out.
I can believe that the United States should lower its levels of immigration in the future, while also respecting that there are people who have come here through lawful immigration pathways that have contributed to the country. But just because one person or 10 people or 100 people came in legally and contributed to the United States of America, does that mean that we're thereby committed to let in 1 million or 10 million or 100 million people a year in the future? No, that's not right. We cannot have, I'll go and finish. We cannot have an immigration policy where what was good for the country 50 or 60 years ago binds the country inevitably for the future. There's too many people who want to come to the United States of America, and my job as vice president is not to look out for the interests of the whole world. It's to look out for the people of the United States. Now,
And the event at Ole Miss was much more than just a political discussion. It was a sign of a real revival in an area that was packed. Okay, standing room only, crowded arena. It showed just what a powerful movement we have and how the motivation is hitting new highs. This is what cultural revolution looks like, folks. Here's Erica Kirk speaking on what road lies ahead for her personally, for this country. And this is powerful stuff. This is the kind of courage we need more of.
Being on campus right now for me is a spiritual reclaiming of territory. And let me explain that, because there is a lot of symbolism in today. It's Wednesday, 7 weeks. And the more that I am coming to grips with the permanency of this nightmare, the more that I'm starting to realize and witness that the enemy, he doesn't want you. He wants your territory. He wants your influence. And when our team asked my dear friend, Vice President J.D. Vance, to speak today, I really prayed on it, because obviously it's a very emotional day. But I could just hear Charlie in my heart. I could just hear him say, go reclaim that territory, babe. Go.
And once again, guys, I have to give credit where credit is due. Senator John Fetterman has emerged as perhaps the sole voice of sanity in the Democrat Party. Here's how he reacted to Erica's speech, calling her heroic and offering unequivocal praise. When even Democrats are praising conservative speakers, guys, you know the tide is changing. I understand this isn't easy to do, but the rest of the Democrat Party has lost their minds. Even if it's the right thing to do, even if it's objectively correct, that doesn't matter. That's never stopped them. Check out Fetterman.
And thank you for having here. And now I also got a chance to watch Erica Kirk, and how heroic that is, and the courage to after her happened to her husband as a widow, to be able to get on that stage, regardless whatever your political views are, you absolutely have to celebrate and applaud her for the kind of courage to do that now.
But unfortunately for Democrats, the sanity stops with him, because they are still refusing to open the government. They're playing political games while Americans suffer. But my father is moving full speed ahead on his agenda anyway. He's not letting their obstruction stop him, including making sure that our troops are paid regardless of the Democrats' America Last politics, because our military families should not suffer for Democrat tantrums.
The U.S. Navy always stands for America. As your commander-in-chief, I will always stand for you. I promise you that. You know that. That's why you voted for me in numbers that nobody's ever seen before. And I want you to know that despite the current Democrat-induced shutdown, we will get our service members every last penny. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Do not worry about it. It's all coming. It's coming. And even more because I'm supporting the across-the-board pay raises for every sailor and service member of the United States Armed Forces. But we have to take care of this little gnat that's on our shoulder called the Democrats. They want to give all of our money to illegal aliens that pour into the country. And, you know, I have a bigger heart than they do. But the problem is when you do that, they come in by the millions. Everybody wants that, so you can't do it.
And starting November 1st, guys, EBT SNAP benefits, food stamps, are set to expire. That used to be one of the holy grails of Democrat Party politics. They would move heaven and earth to protect these programs. Again, anything to keep people dependent probably means a Democrat vote, so it doesn't necessarily surprise us. But I guess something's changed, because it doesn't seem like they're willing to do it anymore. They're going to let their own voters suffer just to make a political point. Here's Senator Majority Leader Thune exposing all of the left's feigned moral outrage and blatant hypocrisy and destruction. This is important stuff. It's must-watch stuff.
Let me just point out, if I might, that we are 29 days into a Democrat shutdown. And the senator from New Mexico was absolutely right. SNAP recipients shouldn't go without food. People should be getting paid in this country. And we've tried to do that 13 times. You voted no 13 times. This isn't a political game. These are real people's lives that we're talking about. And you all just figured out, 29 days in, that, there might be some consequences. There are people who run out of money. Yeah, we're 29 days in. And they've done their best to make sure that a lot of these programs are funded. But at some point, the government runs out of money. 13 times, people over here voted to fund SNAP. 13 times they voted to fund WIC. My aching back. Finally realized this thing has consequences. Well, you know what? What Democrats are doing here. They're making plans to keep the shutdown going. And they realize, all of a sudden, 29 days in, that this is a real consequence, real life pain for American families. Something that results from their shutdown. So are they making plans to end the shutdown and reopen the government? Nope.
But perhaps what's going on is even more sinister than we realize. And hear me out on this one. Maybe Democrats are even trying to punish some of their own base for not turning out for Kamala in the November election. Think about it. They're manufacturing a crisis, but it's backfiring big time. Or as my father would like to say, it's backfiring bigly. Americans see right through this charade. In fact, one Democrat is basically admitting that they want to cause pain to everyday Americans. Think about that. They want to cause pain to everyday Americans. Why? Because they want to use it as leverage to attack all things Trump. They're saying the quiet parts out loud now. Here's Democrat Congresswoman Catherine Clark in her own words. And honestly, guys, this is shocking even for them. Again, this is why we ask you to share this stuff, because you're not going to see this on mainstream TV. You're not going to see this anywhere else. Listen to her in her own words. This is a powerful Congresswoman talking about it. Check it out.
I mean, shutdowns are terrible. And of course, there will be families that are going to suffer. We take that responsibility very seriously, but it is one of the few leveraged times we have.
But my father is working around the clock for you, the American people, 24/7. No breaks, no rest, barely sleeps. And despite the year-long hoaxes, the lawfare, the media smears, the assassination attempts, he's just getting more and more motivated to deliver big results. They tried to break him, and it only made him stronger. That's just like America, guys. They've tried to break us for a long time, and it only makes us stronger. Guys, that includes making sure we rebuild our military stronger than ever before. Peace through strength, folks. And he just ordered the United States to resume nuclear weapons testing immediately after a 30-year pause. This sends a message to our enemies. America is back, and we actually mean business. Obviously, no one's done more for peace than Donald Trump, but you need to also be able to carry that big stick, and we're doing just that. And as the White House titled a recent video, quote, "First in war, first in peace," this is what American leadership looks like. Check it out.
And I'm thrilled to be here among thousands of proud American patriots. The cherished alliance between the United States and Japan is one of the most remarkable relationships in the entire world. As Commander-in-Chief, I never forget that our ultimate strength does not come from equipment. It comes from the men and women of the rank and file. No enemy will ever even dream of threatening America's Navy. There's no Navy even closer. Nobody can do what we do. Nobody has what we have. Righteous soul, and its timeless motto, first in war, first in peace.
Just think about how much more serious America is seen globally now than under, say, President Otto Penn. No more laughing at us behind our backs. It's incredible when you think about it. Respect is back. It's back where it's supposed to be. For example, and this is actually a big one, the new president of Bolivia just said he wants to build a strong alliance with the United States. This is in Bolivia, which finally rejected socialism after 20 years of disaster. In Argentina, President Milei defied all of the expert opinions, and his party just made massive, huge, historic gains in their midterm elections. The experts were wrong again. Imagine that. After getting support from the Trump administration because freedom and prosperity is contagious, he wins in a landslide. It's hard to believe. It's almost like they've just been lying to us for all of these years. It's almost like the narrative was always BS. And meanwhile, leftist lunatic Colombian President Petro is lashing out after new sanctions prevented him from even being able to refuel his plane. Can't even gas it up, folks. And Maduro in Venezuela? Well, he's having daily public meltdowns about not being able to traffic drugs like he used to. It's crazy. It's how we make our money. How can you starve us while we kill 100,000 Americans a year? It's shocking. The gravy train is over. And again, this is what I call understanding through pain. Education through pain. Our enemies are feeling it. Under my father, our allies have no better friend, and our adversaries have no worse of an enemy. That's the Trump doctrine in action. And it's about time everyone takes notice. And that includes corrupt left-wing lawfare spooks who are now more implicated than ever in their corrupt witch hunt known as Arctic Frost. Because according to a new Arctic Frost whistleblower documents, the corrupt Biden FBI subpoenaed the bank records, donor lists, and emails of nearly every major conservative organization and leader in the country. This is Stasi-level surveillance, including Donald Trump's campaign, the RNC, Save America PAC, America First Policy Institute, My Pillow, and so many more. They went after everyone. And that's not all, guys. They were even tapping phones of sitting GOP senators. They were tapping phones of Republican lawmakers. I mean, think about that. Let that sink in. All part of their corrupt scheme to get Trump at all costs. This makes Watergate look like jaywalking. Check this out.
I've recently been informed by Verizon that at least 11 members with Verizon accounts were affected. That includes a hard line for Senator Cruz's office and a staffer's cell phone for former Senator Loeffler. AT&T informed me they challenged the legal basis for Jack Smith's efforts, and Smith backed down.
In fact, the Biden DOJ sent out subpoenas to target 20% of the Republicans in the United States Senate. 1 in 5 GOP senators. This is banana republic stuff. People need to go to jail. And as usual, it all seems to have striking parallels to the Russia hoax. Same playbook, different hoax. Take a look at these revelations.
His inner circle, Joe Biden's inner circle, covered up for the country the fact that he was in mental decline and that he was so unavailable to do his job on a daily basis that the staff secretary, probably the most important person in the White House, the guy you see next to Donald Trump every time he has a press conference and he's signing a document, Will Sharf, well, Joe Biden's version of that person, Nara Tanden, didn't see him for 6 to 8 weeks at a time. She had no idea whether he'd approved the documents that were coming through her hands. He was an AWOL president in decline, and the people around him misled the American people. That's what this report says. And then the man sitting right next to you on the screen, Jim Jordan, releases some bombshell documents today in this other investigation. What do we know now? We know that the memo that the FBI used to open up Arctic Frost, which then targeted 160 Republicans, 92 conservative groups, 8 senators, 1 House member, a president, and a vice president, was really deficient under the guidelines of the FBI. The memo that opens up Arctic Frost uses words like evidence suggesting. It doesn't actually lay out a predicate. And it's looking at a crime that by submitting alternate or fake electors, as they use, or fraudulent electors is the term they use here, they committed a crime. The memo does not address the fact that in 2 prior times in American history, similar fake, fraudulent, or alternate electors were submitted in South Carolina, 1876, Hawaii, 1960. No prosecution occurred. That isn't even mentioned in the FBI memo. So bombshell stuff from Jim Jordan and James Comer today.
So from strength on the world stage to protecting our borders, from exposing deep state corruption to standing up to China, this is what America First looks like in action. The Democrats can shut down the government all they want. They can play their political games, but they can't stop this movement. They can't stop the American people from restoring this country to greatness. And remember, they're not just fighting my father, guys. They're fighting all of us. Every single patriot who believes in this country, who believes in freedom, who believes that America's best days ahead are us, not behind us. That's who they're going after. So keep fighting, keep spreading the truth, keep waking people up, because this is how we win. Not just elections, but the culture, the country, and the future. So guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Remember to like, to share, to subscribe. Send it off to your friends. Please do that now. It's so easy. It takes no time. Text it to a couple people. Send it to them however. Check us out on Apple, on Spotify podcasts. If your friends get their podcast that way, even if you're regular here on Rumble, subscribe anyway so you get it. That's how we break the algorithm. Check out our incredible sponsors down below and in the video description. Okay, it takes a lot of guts to support this show. They've stepped up. Do it. Show them some love back. Check out and download the Rumble app on your smart TV. You can watch us with your whole family. I think I was reasonably well behaved this evening, so that's kind of a big deal. That should help. I really appreciate it, guys, and I'll talk to you all next week. Until then, stay informed, stay free, stay a little bit triggered, and I hope you guys have an awesome Halloween. I got to come up with a banger of an outfit. I got to beat the garbage can thing, the garbage bag thing from last year. I don't know if I can do that. I'm not that creative. I just got back from like an international trip, and I got to go on another one basically right after I take the kids trick-or-treating. I literally flew 15 hours to take the kids trick-or-treating. But sometimes we got to do the dad stuff as well. They're getting a little bit older. Got to enjoy it while it lasts. So you guys have an awesome Halloween. I'll see you guys on Monday. Have a great night.